Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. To my returning subscribers, thank you for coming back again. If you're new here, welcome. This is the first time on this channel. Welcome to this channel. My name is Jane Eze. I'm an international student in the UK. Here I talk about my experience and I share information that will be helpful to people coming to the UK as well as people living in the UK. This is my face. I know this is not a video that I'm showing my face, but this is what I look like. Welcome to this channel. So guys, today we'll be talking about some of the confusing questions that you can come across when you're filling out your application for the Tier 4 visa, which is your student visa. I have a lot of people who have asked me questions about these questions, and so I decided to put them together and do a video to explain those, okay, or explain these questions. So we'll start with this question. Have you provided evidence of your English language ability in a previous application? This question, I think, is very, very confusing. But so let me explain. They go further to say you must have been granted a visa or permission to stay after meeting the language requirements at level B1 or above, for example, and then it gives you an example. But the line that you need to take note of is it says you must have been granted a visa or permission to stay. Now, for people who are doing this application for the first time, you have not done any visa before, you've not been granted any visa before using your test of English results, your answer should be no. But if you have been on another visa that require test of English, and of course your answer will be yes. But for most people, it will be no. People get confused about this one because sometimes they think they're referring to the application you did with your school. The application to your school, yes, required test of English, but it didn't give you visa, it didn't give you permission to stay. So the answer to this question is no. It doesn't really matter, to be honest. Some people have picked yes and still got their visa. Some people picked no and still got their visa. So this is one of those questions where as it be make it be, right? So yeah, the right thing should be no. But if you've gone ahead to pick yes in your application, it's nothing to worry about. You will still get your visa. It doesn't matter really. Whatever you pick here, you still get your visa, but the right thing to pick is no. After picking no, of course, you save and you continue. So this question here, people that depend on you financially, so people financially dependent on you, and it asks you, does anyone rely on you for financial support? Include both those traveling with you and those who are not. Now, for single people, this is not even a problem. They just go ahead and pick no and then move on. But for people who are applying with dependents, I will talk about this question in the next video where I address confusing questions for people applying with dependents. But if you're applying alone, your answer is just going to be no and you move on. But if you're applying with your kids or your kids are going to be applying as dependents, the answer will be different. Okay, so ensure you turn on your notification post if you're applying with dependents so that when I release that video you can see me address this question as well. Okay, so when you answer this question no as a single person, of course you just save and continue. So this question right here talks about the course fees. It goes down to ask you, what are your course fees for your first year? And it says if your course is shorter than 12 months, state the total course fee. Now, a lot of people get confused here because they're wondering, oh, should I put just the first year or both years? Now, for people who have their courses for 2 years, for example, if you're going to a school like T-Side where it's 2 years and each year costs maybe like 8,500, what they asked you here is your course fees for the first year. Don't put the total amount for the 2 years or 3 years course that you're doing. What you're asked is for the first year. Just put the amount here, and if you're doing a 1 year course, of course that's 12 months, you also put the total fee. But the question says to put your course fees for your first year, so just ensure you put the right amount here because this question directly or indirectly will affect your POF calculations. Okay, so the next question just asks, have you or your parents or legal guardian already paid any of your school fees? Please select no if your course does not have a fee. Now this one is, have you paid anyone or have you not paid? So for people who have made deposits, of course you will go ahead and say yes. And if you've not made any deposits, you should not be here really, because I don't know the school that will give you cash without deposits at this time. So most times the answer to this question will be yes, because you would have done deposits. Then it will go and go forward to ask you how much you've paid. You put that here. This figure will also be in your CAS, so ensure that you're putting in the right amount. When you put the amount that you have paid as deposit, it will ask you, how can you prove this amount has been paid? Of course, you'll say my sponsor has confirmed this information on my CAS. So you save and continue. Here's this question: traveling with another person. Okay, so he asks you, will you be traveling to the UK with someone who is not your partner, spouse, or dependent? Now, this one, some people might think is straightforward, but some people think that their friends are included here. Please, if you're just traveling with your friends, like you guys are just going together, you're booking flight tickets, there's no need to say yes, because when you say yes, it will ask you details of the person that you're traveling with, and they will assume, or they will most likely assume, this is me just saying, that the person's details will be linked to your application, but it's not. So if you're not doing this for maybe your dependents or anybody that is going to be attached to your application in any way, just say no, save and continue. Your friends don't matter in this question, okay? So here is another question: your employment history. Why is this even on this list of confusing questions? It's because of this second option, armed forces, and in bracket it says compulsory national or military service. Now, some people think that the NYSC falls under this category and some people do not. For my application, I picked this because of NYSC, but I also know people who did not pick it and got their visas as well. We're all in the UK. I don't think this question is a deal breaker. Like, if you want to, or if you feel convinced that the armed forces they're talking about in the second option is your NYSC, please go ahead and select it. And if you don't think so, you can leave it blank. The next question talks about government. So for people who are in civil administration, your civil servants and all that, you can go ahead and pick that. Don't worry, because when people see these options, they think that, oh, if I say yes, I work for government, I'll be denied my visa. No, that is not true. But if you have further things you want to explain, especially if you're picking armed forces, compulsory national or military service, which is the second option, you can go ahead and put that explanation in the additional information field, which is also discussed in this video. So if you feel that, oh, I need to explain that the armed forces I'm talking about is NYSU, go ahead and put it in the additional information for explanation. But yeah, like I said, some people pick it and some people don't pick it, and they still get their visas. So when you select all that is right here or not, if nothing applies to you, of course you pick the last option, I have not worked in any of the jobs listed above, and you save and continue. So here is this field, additional information about your application. So this is where you can put any additional information you feel has not been covered in your application. It says if you needed to add more information about your application but you were unable to, you can write it here. So for people, like for example, for people who think that they need to explain further about that armed forces thing, you can put it here. If there's any other thing you feel you have filled and you need to explain to them, this is the place you put it. But you need to be careful so you don't give information that isn't necessary. You don't also want to complicate things for yourself. So ensure that whatever information that you're putting here is necessary and will not affect you negatively. Personally, I would say keep it short, keep it simple. Omit it if you don't have anything serious to say, really, and then you just save and continue. Yes, so by the time you get to this page, you're almost done with your application. It says the answers will be locked when you go to the IHS website. So whatever you're doing, ensure that all the answers that you have filled are correct. You want to go back and cross-check that everything you fill. Print out the PDF form, go through it, be sure that all your answers are correct. Also cross-check your passport numbers, your details basically, and be sure that everything is correct, because you don't want to now have to pay to make corrections later. Your date of birth and date of birth of everybody that you've put in that application and all. So basically just go through all the information that you have filled. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions and I have missed that, please try to put it in the comment section and I will answer. If you want to send me a personal message, you can send it to my Instagram page. It's Jenna Simple Living, and I will try my best to answer that as well. Thank you guys for watching till now. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share with your friends and your family. The next video I will talk about application for people coming with dependents. So there's some questions that are also confusing for people who are applying with their dependents, and I'll talk about that in the next video. Until then, bye guys.